more intermediate or advanced level, you might have noticed that you have made a lot of improvement. But you still want to improve your sentence structure. First of all, the fact that you are even aware of this issue is a good thing. It means that you have gotten a better understanding of the language and its structures. Still, you have made steady progress and you want to keep moving forward. So, you'd like to focus on improving your sentence structure, but you don't know where to start. Well, that's what we are going to talk about today. Today, we'll take a look at an important thing that English learners can do in order to improve their sentence structure. We'll also explore some practice exercises that can use to improve in each of these areas. So, if you're ready to learn some strategies that can help you with your speaking and writing, let's get started. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to stay updated about IELTS news. Let's practice using relative clauses. A relative clause is a clause that starts with a word like who, which, that, why, where, when, and whose, and we use them to describe nouns. You've probably learned about them in school and you've heard people use them on plenty of occasions, but you may not know how to use them yourself. Let's take a look at these two sentences. Neither one has a relative clause. This meal reminds me of another meal. My grandmother used to make a meal just like this. We can simplify this idea with a relative clause like this. This meal reminds me of another meal that my mother used to make. Here are a couple of more examples. I'm looking for the student whose mother called yesterday. The novel, which he wrote in 2 months, quickly became popular. Did I tell you about the customer who gave us a bad review? The tricky thing to remember about relative clauses is that there are actually two kinds, a defining relative clause and a non-defining relative clause. In order to figure out which one is which, just ask this simple question. If you take out the relative clause, does the meaning or structure change? With a defining relative clause, the answer is yes. The information in a defining relative clause is essential and needs to be included in the sentence. For example, look what happens when I leave out the relative clause in this sentence. I'm looking for the student. You'll notice that the sentence needs more information. So, the relative clause whose mother called yesterday is a defining clause because it's necessary for the sentence to make sense. However, in this sentence, notice what happens when I leave out the relative clause. The novel quickly became popular. If I add the relative clause, which he wrote in 2 months, after the word novel, it doesn't change the main idea of the sentence. The sentence makes sense without this extra information. So, in this situation, we consider this a non-defining relative clause. Sounds interesting? Keep in mind that when you write with a non-defining relative clause, you have to separate it from the rest of the sentence with commas. The novel, which he wrote in 2 months, quickly became popular. We laughed so much that day, which we had never done before. Istanbul, where my cousin lives, is known for its beautiful mosques. Note: sometimes English speakers will leave the relative pronouns such as who, which, or that, out of the relative clause. For example, we can remove the word that from this sentence and it's still correct. He can't stop talking about the movie that he saw last week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated as more interesting videos are coming. Thank you.